Who's drinking the perfume? Don't drink the perfume. It's poison. We got some nuggets from Nick Sirianni. Oops, I'm hearing myself. Sorry. We're good now. We got lots to talk about. We got Eagles. We got Phillies are tied in first place. Big series against the Mets. We could talk Sixers too. Ace Bailey. NBA Finals going to 7. Trade in the AM. Technical difficulties. We have power. We're all good. And we're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's free to do. Doesn't cost a thing to click those buttons and tell a friend. Also, we got a poll going on the YouTube page, so if you're watching on Twitter, head on over to the YouTube page to vote on our show poll. Should the Sixers still draft Ace Bailey with his not coming to town? Yes, no, or can we talk Eagles? We can. We can do it all. We're going to talk everything today. We're going to talk Eagles because there's some great Phillies or Eagles videos dropped on the Unfiltered thing. A lot of talk and cliches from Nick Sirianni from OTAs, but I love it, and I'm all for it. So we're going to talk that today. We are also going to talk Phillies, opening a huge three-game set against the Mets for first place in the division. And, of course, the Sixers with the draft and the NBA Finals and everything else, the Ace Bailey situation, that's all on the equation today. So please like, share, subscribe, guys. And if you're anywhere in the path of the storms last night, hopefully you are okay. Hopefully you don't have too much damage. Hopefully you have power. I know there were some wicked storms that passed through the Kennett Square and Coatesville area last night. Like the apocalypse outside last night. For moments, it was pretty intense and pretty insane. Maybe a little rant will happen later in the show on this. We're going to do our best today. We might have a shortened version today. I got a lot of cleanup to do. It was so busy at the shop last night with the power outage. Almost didn't do a show, but you crazy guys wouldn't know what to do with your weekend if I skipped the Friday. So here I am for a little bit with you guys. So let's get right into some of these comments. Phillies tied with the Mets this weekend is a big series. Hope we sweep them. I hope we get 2 out of 3. I hope we take command of the division. A sweep would be a bonus. Absolutely. 100%. The biggest problem, Adam, with this series is the first game of the series tonight is one of those dumbass Apple TV games. So I can't even watch it. What's up with that? Good morning, Duck. How you doing? You want me to do a dance or do the dance? What kind of dance do you want me to do? Not really much of a dancer. Phil, what happened to Jordan? Jordan Spieth? I am not positive. I was watching it yesterday afternoon. He hadn't withdrawn yet, but you could see it coming. I saw a video of him like massaging his neck. They weren't talking back. They were talking a neck issue. But they didn't officially announce it. He did withdraw from the Travelers Championship. He was in one of my lineups too. I'm always, whenever somebody withdraws with a back or neck issue, you can guarantee they were on my DraftKings card somewhere. Good morning. Good morning, Davey. Yeah, look at you. You noticed. Someone noticed right off the bat. I went to my barber in Kennett yesterday, got the beard tightened up, faded in nicely. And, yeah, I do like a nice short haircut for the summer. It's going to be like 100 degrees next week, so perfect timing to tighten up the fade a little bit up there. I don't even know if you'd call it a fade. There is some hair up there, just so you know. He wanted me to go shorter to my barber. My first day off in a very long time. Coffee. Mushroom coffee, right? Cake and trending. Let's go. Let's do it. Like we might only do about an hour or so today. Peanut, I hate to break it to you. I got lots happening, lots to get to. Let's talk golf. I mean, of course, Scotty Scheffler's in first place. No shock there. Pacers winning the chip. The Sam Presti curse is real good. I honestly, I didn't get home till so late last night. By the time I showered after a long day at the shop, I turned on the TV and they were up 25, the Pacers. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even watching it. I'm getting the 17K out of pocket dental work tomorrow at 9:30. God damn. See, I'm on a frequent flyer card with my dentist because it's like every punch card. You get a punch every time. You get your fifth one free because I'm there all the time. Damn it, Phil. The YMCA subscribed. Oh, YMCA. That's what. I did it already twice in this show. Ace Bailey, no matter what. You don't care about the drama. You don't care about the fact that he's trying to play the draft system. You don't care that he said big middle finger to the Sixers. I don't want to come to your meeting unless you promise me something. What the hell what does this whole promise that he wanted anyway? He wants every team to promise that they're going to draft him. I don't even know what's going on there. Yeah, I didn't mean to use the word fade. It's just really, really tight. He wanted me to go one. This is a number one buzz cut. He wanted me to go 1 on the top and 0 on the sides. I'm like, yeah, no. I know. Dude, I'm tired. All right. Give me some break today. No, Brian Pumpman does not care about the Ace Bailey drama. So I'm assuming he's one of the people that has voted yes. See, the thing is, Pumpman, Ace Bailey might be the real deal. He might turn out to be a player. But with the disaster that this Sixers organization has been for so long, do we really need more drama in this city? And I'm not saying I don't want him. I'm just giving you the reason why so many Sixers fans are over the Ace Bailey situation before it started, before it starts. Because we've been down this road before with other players. And that's the problem. You draft Ace Bailey after all this that happened this week, and he doesn't work out, the conversation will be, you should have known better. You don't draft him, and he goes somewhere else and becomes the next whatever superstar. Well, at least you have an excuse, but he didn't want to come here. At least you got an excuse. Ace Bailey is going to be another Ben Simmons for the Sixers if they draft him. And I see a lot of people saying that, and that's very possible. Happy Friday, Steven. Hope the storms didn't hit you too hard. Dude, it was brutal. It was brutal, those storms last night. We didn't lose power long at the pizza shop. Although, woke up this morning and found out we don't have power this morning. How we lose power like 12 hours after the storm, I'm not sure. But we should be good to go today. It was scary last night. Come to the Sixers where we turn gold into lead. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. That sounds about the right description right there, right? That definitely is the right description for what happens with the Sixers. Look, I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no to Ace Bailey. I'm not even sure what the situation is with Ace Bailey. Why? What the promise is. But you watch the NBA Finals that are going on, and great for the Pacers to push it to a Game 7, which is what I wanted yesterday. I said on the show. You need young, athletic guys that can run the floor, play defense, score, do whatever. Does Ace Bailey even fit that? Yes. He's a long, athletic, lanky guy. He's got a lot of work to do. He's obviously getting some bad advice on how to handle things from his management team, where his parents should maybe be stepping in. It's a tough spot for what the Sixers can or should do. They had to shut the power to you to fix the power for others who are actually down, not to kill them. I never killed a lineman. Never. And I'm sure it'll be back fairly quickly. I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of issues out there, a lot of down trees, a lot of issues. My bigger problem with the storm of the century last night, it wasn't that bad. It was close. Is how people treated me last night at work. My shopping center was the only shopping center that had power in all of Kennett Square last night. I had 40 people standing in front of me waiting for pizzas, and you can only make so many pizzas at a time. People yelling and screaming, why is it taking so long? What do you mean 30 minutes for a pizza? Like, seriously. How dare you treat me the way you treat me last night? Well, I'll go somewhere else. Good luck. And thank you to the majority that were very kind and patient last night with me. I saw or heard about the tornado in Landenberg. Not too far from where we were, to be honest with you. Do you have any Austin Eckroat shares in the Travis? I do not. He was nowhere near my chart for the week. And let's be honest, Austin Eckroat's not. I would be shocked if Austin Eckroat even finishes in the top 10 after his 8 under yesterday, K1. You always get that. You always get that one guy that kind of just pops round one, then kind of fades away. Do they secretly get money for being first round leader? We're just us degenerate gamblers. Good morning, Todd. Hope you are well. Pizzas were always great last night. Just some people had to wait a long time, unfortunately, because when you're the only restaurant in town open, you're going to get a little busy. I don't get people who treat an emergency situation like it's a normal. Exactly. And most people were very patient last night at the shop. Most people. Well, those that weren't can go shove it, pretty much. I laughed at a couple. I'm like, the one guy standing at my counter going like this for 10 minutes last night. Like, seriously? You're going to stand there and tap your watch nonstop. You clearly see the other 20 people waiting for food. It's not like you're the only person. Like, what do you expect me to do? And it's not like we needed more than a Friday night staff last night. We didn't. We had a Thursday night staff. We didn't know it was going to get that bad. Nobody knew it was going to get that bad. You think I'm going to find employees at 6 o'clock in the middle of a tornado and an apocalypse situation? No. When you don't have power and have to get pizza to feed the family, be pleasant. Exactly. I know you're miserable because you don't have power. But come on. Everybody's working hard. Spieth got a case of the 5 overitis. No, Jordan Spieth definitely was struggling yesterday. You could see it. You could really, really see his struggles yesterday. There was something wrong with that neck. He was 1 over par when they started showing him grabbing, his back and his neck yesterday. So I'm not gonna crush Jordan. Now the Spiethers out there, he was in one of my 6 lineups, but most of those Spieth people are probably a little upset today. Happy Friday, Jim. That's right, beat the Mets. Except if the Phillies win against the Mets, but nobody watches because it's on Apple freaking TV, do they still beat the Mets? Does it still count? A Philly tornado is going to be mid. I don't know about that. Tornadoes are scary, mother bleepity bleeps. And if one touches down 5-6 miles from my place, that's scary. I've had a tornado go down my street before. Mother Nature is a scary mother, okay? The Spiethers are even worse than the McKeisters. Yes. Yes, they are. I do occasionally fall trap specific events here or there. I'm like, oh, this will be Spieth's turnaround for sure. Oh, man. But, I just like the course fit, and I needed a cheap option to balance out a lineup and ownership percentage. That's why I made it into one of my 6 lineups. He gave it a go. He was in pretty bad pain yesterday, Spieth. And I don't know if he made it through the entire round, but he was chugging along pretty well yesterday, trying to power through it. Checking my ownership percentages for today. Showdown lineups, not too bad. Tornadoes are scary. Yeah. Scary Samuel L. Jackson's. Yes, that is correct. That is an accurate statement. Without a doubt. So anyway, we don't want to talk Ace Bailey, right? We don't want to talk that. So we're going to stick to Phillies. We're going to stick to Eagles. Half the poll right now says, can we just talk to Eagles? And I don't know if you guys watched it. I left my notebook at the pizza shop, so I don't have the notes on it. But there was a great Eagles Unfiltered video dropped yesterday. And there was a great Eagles behind the scenes of everybody celebrating the championship video dropped yesterday. And first, let's talk about the Eagles Unfiltered and Nick Sirianni. And how Nick Sirianni spoke before the mandatory OTAs to the entire team. And the message that he tried to convey. Now, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have my notes in front of me. But he talked about, we are no longer at the top of the mountain. We are at the bottom of the mountain again. And it's time. It's time to climb the mountain again. He talked about winning the championship is like perfume. You could sniff it, but you can't drink it. You can't drink your own Kool-Aid because it's poison. You got to re-humble yourself for the 2025 season. You got to find what it is to re-humble yourself. And it's a great message to start team off-season activities. To make sure these players know, yeah, you won in 2024. You didn't win anything in 2025. So you got to start all over. The process has to start all over. Oh, why did I say the process? I hope that soon the NFL, NBA, and MLB will just have their own channel to stream from. I'm so tired of illegal watching. Dude, I hate Apple TV crap. He only got through like 12. I saw him on the 12th. Maybe he withdrew right after that. Had to go get the haircut. No football stinks. Well, we're talking football. I'm getting strong Taylor Pendrith vibes from Spieth. DC winning was a nut punch. Yeah. The new Superman movie or the new Superman movie always. First, I find Fantastic Four was never a favorite of mine as a kid. I found the one movie, the first movie before the Silver Surfer movie, what was that, late 90s, early 2000s? That wasn't bad, but I have never really truly enjoyed a single Fantastic Four movie. They've all been meh or garbage. Now, Superman is always one of my favorites. And Superman, I'm curious. I haven't seen it yet, obviously. But with James Gunn taking it over, it looks different. It looks more Guardians of the Galaxy and like the filmography style. It looks like it'll be a very entertaining movie. Will I like him as Superman or not? I don't know. But we'll find out. I will see it at some point. Just not yet. But anyway, the message that's being thrown to this Eagles team. First off, there's 14 players that are brand new on this team on one-year deals. So there are plenty of people that haven't won a Super Bowl yet on this team. You got to stay hungry. And you do that by realizing the mountain needs to be climbed again. You do that by realizing that every year is separate from the last. You've got to prove yourself every single time. Phil's How to Treat. No, I have not watched one of those. I was mad for days about Michigan Panthers losing it. No, I don't care. Don't care. Glad it's over with. Thought I wouldn't have to hear you talk about it. Although I talked about it, and you weren't here on the show when I talked about it. Phil pre-ordered tickets to Meg. No, it did not. I can't even tell you the last time. Probably No Time to Die, the last James Bond movie with Daniel Craig, was probably the last movie I saw in theaters. Comic book movies stink. I don't know if they stink. Whatever we're calling you today, Alf. But what they are, for sure, is so saturated in the market, I have comic book movie fatigue. And all the way back, like by Age of Ultron time frame, maybe Infinity Wars, I said there was going to come a time where enough's enough, and I have fatigue, and I do. I can't get excited for any superhero movies anymore. I don't even wait to rent them on demand. I wait till they're on free TV now. Like, I have no desire to waste time or spend money on a comic book movie anymore. I just don't. public is over DC Marvel shit. To an extent, I think they are. I mean, they're still the highest grossing movies out there, but what they're grossing is nowhere near what they were 3, 5, 7 years ago. Nothing that Marvel or DC puts out is going to generate $1 billion in ticket sales anymore. Who? What? Who got a facial last night? I don't even know who this is. Who are we talking about? Don't know. Don't get it. So explain. Guys, you're watching Trend in the AM. If you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe. 10 votes on the poll so far. Should the Sixers still draft Ace Bailey? We're talking Phillies. Big games, big series against the Mets. Oh, yeah, duh. I'm a little off today. I'm not on my A game today, Nooms. But we're going to do our best. I might need coaching through today's show. I just watched Hulu's new Predator cartoon, and it was awesome. Although my wife thinks I'm douchey for watching. Well, I mean, your wife might be right, but it also still might be good. Both things can be the same. But there's a huge series against the Mets this weekend. Obviously, normals like me cannot watch it because it's on Hulu or on Apple TV, and I'm not paying for it. How important is it for the Phillies to win this series late in June to take over first place? Is it as crucial as I want to make it be? I want to make it crucial. TJ McConnell was good last night. All I can say is I checked the box score. I saw he looked good. I figured he'd have a big game or at least a solid role in the game with Halliburton, although Halliburton played, was not 100%. So I expected a good amount of minutes. I think I saw 25 minutes from him last night. So that's what I expected from him. Yeah, we do not need more Jurassic Park. The fact that they're basically only bringing back Jurassic Park just to find a way to get Scarlett Johansson to be in a movie. Because it's basically all that matters. Right? Oh, here we go. Are we going with comment issues again? There we go. They're coming up again. Sixers will mess up the draft. So annoying. Yeah, I mean, Jim, do you still draft Ace Bailey or not? And I know some people will say you still draft Ace Bailey in this situation, despite the circus he is putting out there. But if you don't draft him and he goes on to be a star, at least you have an excuse. If you draft him and he becomes Ben Simmons, a bust, well, you should have seen the writing on the wall. It's probably smarter to not draft him at this point. Apple TV tonight is, well, at least I get ESPN, so I can watch Sunday night's game. Phil, what kind of cheese does your pizza use? For Munda cheese. Phil is one of the poors. I'm a poors. What? I mean, I am poor. I tell my wife all the time I'm broke. But that's another whole subject. Jim, the Ace Bailey situation, the Sixers situation, I think it's an easy answer. You go for a more sure thing. I'm still in the situation where I'm still thinking the Sixers should be using this pick, like Rick says, to trade back and get off a contract. He's a pain in the ass now. What happens when he's getting paid? You allow him to dictate. He will not stop being a dick. I absolutely agree. And I think in a risk-reward situation with Ace Bailey, the risks don't outweigh the rewards. It just doesn't make sense. And about 2 weeks ago, I was on the same page as saying we should draft him. That he was the best option at 3 if we stayed there. Actually, earlier this week, I still thought he was the best option at 3. And he still might be the 3rd best player in this draft. But do you take a risk? I don't know. Man, that Scarlett's, if she liked me, I would take her and bring her. Yeah, you would. I'm sure you would. It's a no-win situation. Now, yes, it is a no-win situation with the Sixers. And it's a tough spot to be in. Because this is probably Daryl Morey's last chance. This is probably Nick Nurse's last chance. Will they trade Paul George? Probably not. Will they trade Joel Embiid? Most likely not. Most likely are going to be running it back. Now, they may trade that third pick for another player. I mean, I know hear Herb Jones and Cam Johnson's names floating around a lot with the Nets and the Pelicans. And they do need a young athletic guy that can run. And Ace Bailey fits what they need. But he's not a sure thing. Charles Barkley was 100% right, and so was Billy Cunningham about Embiid. Sam Hinkie put the Sixers in a position to not have the right mentors or examples or cultures in place. So we're going to blame Embiid on Sam Hinkie, the guy that was never given the opportunity to see his vision through fruition. I don't know. He's never had the proper, mentors and examples or culture for sure. The Brett Brown culture was a culture of no accountability. The Doc Rivers culture was a culture that accepted losing. And the Nick Nurse's culture is, I don't care, get me out of here. But I don't know how much of that blame I put on Sam Hinkie. Because Sam Hinkie was cut out of here way too soon. If you're single, wouldn't you give? It's such a dumb hypothetical. All right? This is like one of the dumbest hypotheticals there are. Joe then took it from there. Look, I'm over just, constantly giving praise to Joel Embiid. I'm at least open to the conversation of trading him. Joel Embiid is a supremely talented athlete that just can't stay healthy. And I don't think he'll ever stay healthy or be healthy. But I'm ready to move on. Just like the Titans, the Eagles are moving on. I'm ready to move on. I was talking with someone on Twitter yesterday. It would not break my heart. It wouldn't if the Sixers traded Joel, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey and said, you know what? Let's just strip it down and start over. It would suck. But I'd be ready to move on. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of Sixers fans that disagree. There will be the casuals that think that running it back's the right answer. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm ready to move on. Look at the culture difference between the Eagles and the Sixers and the Phillies. Just look about it. You look at the Eagles, who are they're already over the Super Bowl. They're already focused on the next. They're never content. They're never complacent, the Eagles. You got leaders through and through. What do the Sixers got? A bunch of excuses. The Sixers are right with excuses always. Do you ever get excuses from Eagles players? No. We suck. We didn't get the job done. We will be better. Barkley said Joe would have been better than Wilt, him and Doc with the right coach and culture. Yeah, I always said that Joel Embiid could have become one of the 2 or 3 greatest centers of all time. I think he could have been even with just some health and not the right coaching culture. I mean, he was that special. Culture means so much. And we've talked culture. This is like a great, bringing up culture right now in this conversation is great because it brings the whole week to like full circle. Because we've talked culture literally 4 different times this week. And the Sixers culture has been a losing culture for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And that's a big part of the problem in Philadelphia. The Eagles have the culture. The Phillies, I'm not sure what their culture is. The Sixers don't have a culture. You'd probably give her a chance. Yeah, she wouldn't give you the time of day. I blame LeBron for ruining basketball culture as a whole. There's a lot of LeBron talk this week. Floating around. Talking about how championships aren't the only thing. If you're not trying to win a championship, what are you trying to do? All right, right now on our poll on YouTube, we are 42% say yes, the Sixers should still draft Ace Bailey. No is at 17%. And can we talk Eagles is also getting 42%. So surprisingly, there are a lot of people watching that still want to draft Ace Bailey. Jimmy Butler immediately called bullshit here. If Brett Brown stayed, he wasn't. And Nooms, you obviously listen plenty, so you know what I'm going to say here, that you're spot on. Everyone thinks the Sixers chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. No, they chose Brett Brown's culture over Jimmy Butler because they were choosing Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who loved having Brett Brown's lazy culture. No accountability culture. If the Sixers would have chosen Jimmy Butler over Brett Brown and still kept Tobias Harris, we might have a title now. Now, I don't know if the Sixers would have just brought in Doc Rivers 1 year sooner or who the coach would have been. Who would have been the coach that Jimmy Butler demanded to be brought here? If Jimmy Butler stayed here, would Joel Embiid stayed healthier? Would Ben Simmons have grown up and matured just as much as we hype up Joel Embiid, what he could have been? Ben Simmons with the right culture might have been something. Choosing Brett Brown over Jimmy Butler is the greatest travesty of the whole entire Sixers process. Good morning, Little G. Hope you're well. Drafting Ace Bailey would be spot on for the Sixers. He's exactly the type of player to continue the culture the Sixers have had here, which is loser culture. He's also stylistically the type of player the Sixers need, Steven. And I don't trust Daryl Morey to say no, enough's enough. We need something different here. I don't think it matters. Because as long as Daryl Morey's here and Nick Nurse is here, Joel Embiid's here, and Paul George is here, I mean, you talk about this culture. Paul George is a terrible culture guy. It doesn't matter who you draft. We've already seen Tyrese Maxey losing his smile. God forbid if Jarrett McCain does. Butler would have brought Tibbs here. I think he grew to appreciate him. Yeah, Doc Rivers was still coaching at the time, so it couldn't have been him. Tibbs, yeah, that kind of guy. Oh, my God, can you imagine Thibodeau trying to run Joel Embiid 45 minutes a game in the playoffs? My God, maybe Joel Embiid would have broken down if Jimmy Butler stayed here just as maybe quicker in that scenario. But that was probably, if you had to rank the most important decision that backfired in the process, or that put us in this situation where we don't care about our Sixers anymore, other than to bitch and moan about them. The worst decision in the entire process, sir, wasn't a Jahlil Okafor draft or Markelle Fultz draft or whatever. The biggest mistake of the process error wasn't firing Hinkie and bringing in Colangelo. It was letting Jimmy Butler go. That single-handedly turned the tides on the process. Trading Maxey is the only way to save the kid's career and love of the game. Yeah. You might just want to trade Maxey just for the betterment of him. Just to save him. Save the cheerleader. Save the world. Save Maxey. Save the NBA. We'll see if anyone picks up on that one. The Eagles are moving on. They're at the bottom of the mountain. They want to climb to the top of the mountain again, according to Nick Sirianni. They're trying to move on up. They're trying to be better. They're already the best, and they're trying to be better. The Sixers are the same song and dance. Are you sure? I know you do. I like to use that one from time to time. First season or two of Heroes was great TV for network TV. Then then the writer's strike happened. It got ruined. Then they tried to do a reboot. That was terrible. That was one of the Siler in season 1 with Peter Petrelli. That was ultimate right there. Ultimate. What's up, Bruce Harper? How you doing? Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope you have power. Kirk Sinker is so much better right now. Ryan Kirkard's pitching great right now. Absolutely. Glad they put him back into the closer role last night. Again, by the time I got home from work last night, that game was already over. So I didn't get to watch last night. So I'm going to box score, break it down. But now I want to see Kirk in that role going forward every single time there's a save. Let's not bounce between Kirk, Strom, and Romano. Give Kirk the role. If you're not going to trade for a closer, just put him there and let him stay there. Phil, I would not draft Ace Bailey. Right now on the poll on YouTube, Bruce, those of us like me and you that say no are losing right now because we just don't know. It's a lose-lose situation. You draft him, and he becomes a head case and a problem. Well, you shouldn't have drafted him. You do draft him, and he becomes the next whatever superstar. You could have had him. I'm trying to get through Major League. Well, you should. It's a great movie. I'm doing better, and I hope I'm doing. Every day's a great day, Bruce. Every day's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Kirk finally has enough run on his sinker where he finally has closer stuff. I hope his head follows. I always thought he had the head. And it's not just that. You have to have a certain type of personality. You got to have that no fear personality. Remember No Fear clothing line? Do they still exist? You got to have that no fear personality. And he seems to have that. It was his sinker. It was his slider. It was the location on his fastball. Can he put the pure raw talent he had together to match up with the personality? I feel he will cause problems, and we don't need problems. We got so many problems on this team, Bruce. Do we really need another Ace Bailey problem? No, we don't. Guys, there's about a dozen likes on this video. That means there's a lot of you that haven't clicked that like button. Please do it. Please share this out, and please subscribe. Please vote on the poll. We got more votes on the poll than likes on the video, so guys, that means people aren't doing this. Please. Every day above ground. That's right. 6 feet up is better than 6 feet down, right? I feel Edgecombe will be better. Again, I am no expert, Bruce, on college prospects. I do not watch a lot of college basketball. I know the videos and the short videos and the highlight clips that I'm seeing now as we're getting close to the draft, which it's not far away from the draft. Yes, Edgecombe probably will be the better player is what I'm feeling. But that's not any more than an educated guess from me. I'm not going to stand here and pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to NBA draft prospects. What I know is we need an athlete. We need somebody that can play defense. That's what we need. We need to get off of Joel Embiid and Paul George's contract, but that's another topic. Keaton Anthony off the 406 start with Lehigh Valley. I love the guy. Like KY loves Kenny G. Yeah. They didn't bring him up. They brought up Buddy Kennedy, that is. They finally got rid of Weston Wilson, and they had to transfer Aaron Nola to 60-day IL, which is no shock because it's going to be a while till we see Aaron Nola. August 1st at a minimum for Aaron Nola. But at least they finally moved on. Finally moved on from Weston Wilson. At least we got rid of that travesty out of our team now. Which means we haven't gained any today, Mitchie Poo. Which means we're still sitting at 541. Come on, 541. I see 541. Can we get 542? 542 over there? Come on. Can we get 543? 543 going once. Oh, we got 544 over there in that corner. I would have made a terrible auctioneer. Phil, I feel you're right, and I feel we also need a player that will get along with it. Well, people don't need to get along. Everybody on the Eagles aren't best friends. You got to respect each other and want to win for each other. You got to want to play for each other. But get along, I don't really care about that. And listen to the coaches. The problem is we don't have a good coach to begin with. Nick Nurse ain't going to motivate this team to be better. I believe in Nola. He will get his groove back to push us through the playoffs. Nola's going to, how did Nola get his groove back? Maybe. I hope so. I think so. It'll be like a straight acquisition if he does. What do you do with the rotation when Nola comes back, if he comes back, Duck? Wheeler's where he is. He's not going anywhere. Sanchez and Ranger and Luzardo and McAble. I mean, I guess Luzardo's the weak link now. I'm trying to tell everybody to pump the brakes on Luzardo being a Cy Young guy. Yes, you said it better, and I agree. Yeah, look, yeah. Like sometimes you put out the ideas, and I mold your ideas into quality opinions. Can I tell the future? I can only see 2 minutes into my future. That's it. Casino, Sharon Stone. Underrated. Casino is underrated in the mob movie genre for sure. I mean, it's better than, Goodfellas, Godfather, obviously greats. But let me tell you something. Casino's right there step for step with it. It's better than Scarface, without a doubt. So, same thing with Bronx Tale. I feel Thompson is not good, and if we keep him as manager, then we will not win the World Series. Well, he ain't going anywhere. If we make trades and Painter comes up to be the star player. Look, I made the suggestion that you don't even call up Andrew Painter. He's obviously very slowly coming back from Tommy John surgery. So at this point, if you're going to limit the amount of innings he throws, you might as well just limit him in the minors and let him build his confidence back up and use him next year. At least that's what I'm feeling. This is the third time today the comments start dragging. This is like one of the best NBA finals no one ever saw. It's a shame. I agree. I've said this a few times. Rick Carlisle is a very underrated coach, Noobs. I agree with that. One of the better coaching jobs the last 20 years. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. No, I'm sure I'm going to be very busy tonight at the pizza shop. I'm not too worried about it, but thank you. Luzardo's the weak link at the moment. Nola is going to get his groove back by going on IR and meeting an attractive Caribbean. Really? Is that what it is? Not enough mob movies? There's always too many of them sometimes. Anyone seen Alto yet? Don't know what that is. Adam is all the good shows on Apple TV. Yeah, look. I always say when's enough's enough with streaming services. How many streaming services do we have to pay for? At some point, all of them. Guys, there's 18 people in the YouTube room right now. That means there should be 18 likes, 18 votes, maybe a new subscriber, and at least 18 shares on this video. And I guarantee none of it's happening. Who am I rooting for in the NBA Finals? Yeah, I mean, my heart tells me the Pacers. And I said that if the Pacers had a chance, they had to push it to 7 games. That the Thunder had to win by getting it over quickly because of Rick Carlisle, because of the leadership there. I want the Thunder to win, or the Pacers to win, because it proves you don't need to have a 3-headed superstar monster. My heart wants the Pacers because of T.J. McConnell. One of the nicest, greatest basketball players of all time. Not great in talent. Good talent, not great. But my mind tells me the Thunder are going to win Game 7. They have more talent. They have more young stars. Oh, we gained an extra subscriber. How about that? We're up to 42. Let's go. Let's keep that number going up. Phil, I only feel the only streaming service that is good is YouTube. Well, regular YouTube, because that's where you get this show. And I do use YouTube TV. Since I switched to YouTube TV, I know they raised their prices once, and it's getting pricey. But YouTube TV and internet is still cheaper than Comcast or Fios for live streaming. But I love YouTube TV because I take it wherever I go on my phone. And I know it changes based off your region and all, but YouTube TV is still the best. I already pay for Prime and Netflix. That should be it. I pay for Netflix. We got a little sharing service going on here. I pay for Netflix. Someone else pays for Prime. Someone else pays for Peacock. Someone else pays for HBO Max. It is what it is. And the wife subs to Vicky, which is where all the stupid K dramas are. Korean dramas. Okay, yeah, I don't know what Vicky is. Never heard of it. The NBA wouldn't allow this to go only 4 or 5 games. This was, of course, going 7 for ratings purposes. Yeah. If you believe in the script, if you believe that the NBA rigs things, you got to think the NBA wants the Thunder to win because SGA is one of their bright, young, up-and-coming stars. I don't think the Pacers winning it would be great for who are they going to parade around on TV shows and media appearances. TJ McConnell? Maybe? 18 likes, not too bad. And we're up to 18 votes. Look at that. Guys, let's do this. Like, share, subscribe. Dude, I'm exhausted. I'm putting my heart out there for you guys today. I could easily skip today, but I chose not to. For you. I'm a man of the people. Where my brother lives, they get Apple TV and they like it. I mean, I could get Apple TV. I just say enough's enough. Streaming services, too many. It's more the point. NFL writers' room is greater than NBA writers' room. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. NBA has Scott Foster on the case. Oh, okay, gotcha. What are they telling Scott Foster and his crew tonight? Is he really the guy? And when is the finals, Game 7? They're pushing off to Sunday probably, right? I would assume they're going to skip 2 days. Is it Sunday? I don't even feel like looking. So you guys can look. It's Sunday Game 7. Or not. But that's probably the way it's going to be. And rightfully so. Look. It is Sunday. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate that. What's up, my man? Been a minute since I've seen you comment. Phil, you can tell you're Italian. You said you put your heart out there and stop tapping. Yeah, exactly. A way to a man's heart that's Italian is through his stomach. Right there. Dude, have you caught the new season of Tucci in Italy? He used to have a great show on CNN. It got canceled. Now he does it on Discovery. Stanley Tucci traveling through Italy, tasting food and teaching about culture. Phenomenal show. I love my Italian heritage. I only get YouTube, and I feel it is awesome as I can watch a lot of sports and other shows. Yeah, I go to vacation. We're going to the Outer Banks in 2 weeks, or like less than 2 weeks, a week and a half. I can bring my YouTube TV and watch whatever I want, no matter what is the TV provider in the house we're renting. I know, we gained one more, Mitchie Poo. 542. You can into settings and change the announcers to the Phillies announcers, so it is better that way. Well, that's good. Good morning. Good morning. Reggie Miller be looking good for his age, yeah? Saw some videos of him watching some Pacers games from his house. If I didn't get a free MLS subscription for Apple TV for being a union season ticket holder, I wouldn't have Apple TV. YouTube TV is where it is. It really is. And I agree. Phil, I can't wait for the Eagles to start the mini camp. Training camp starts July 22nd. They report July 23rd. First practice. I'm pumped, Bruce. I'm hyped. I cannot wait. Because, again, the poll question is, should the Sixers draft Ace Bailey? Yes, no, or can we just talk Eagles? Because that's what I want to do. If you haven't watched the Eagles unfiltered video that dropped yesterday, you should. If you haven't watched the NFL Films video that dropped about them after the Super Bowl, and how Jeff Stoutland went up to hug Jalen Hurts and said, you told me you were going to get me a ring. I told you. I mean, the videos that dropped yesterday about the Eagles got me so pumped for the upcoming season. Keep your pulse empty and stuff. Oh, my God. I told my daughter, don't even think about trying to marry any guy that is not 100% Italian. Smart man. You think Kevin Durant is getting traded this weekend? Why do you think it's this weekend? I think he does get traded. Whether it's this weekend or not, I'm not sure. Kevin Durant will be on a new team. What team and when? I don't know. That's the great mystery, Mitchie Poo. Where do you think, Mitchie Poo, he ends up playing next year? VJ Edgecombe is the pick. At this moment, if I had to submit my card right now for pick 3, Dante, yes, it would be VJ Edgecombe. And if I know he's a guard and you've already got a couple guards, you figure out the details later. But VJ Edgecombe right now, today, June 20th, that's the pick. Yeah, I learned to cook from my grandma. And you know what we cooked? Okay. No recipes. A little this, a little that. Then you taste it. You make your sauce. You dip your bread. It needs a little bit more salt or basil. That's how you cook back in the day. Love all Philly sports for the Eagles. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I got a Phillies tattoo and whatnot. And I don't go to a lot of Eagles games, but yes, the Eagles are always number one. So you are going to have an important husband. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if Reggie Miller cried like Jeremy Roenick. I don't know. Maybe Sixers should get Durant and dump George and Embiid. No, I don't want Kevin Durant. Although I will say this, Adam. If the Sixers traded to say Paul George or Joel Embiid for Kevin Durant straight up, I would do it in a heartbeat because Kevin Durant's on the last year of his deal. And then you could just dump him again or just lose him in the end of the season. Everything I'm doing is to try to clear off that cap space of those two contracts. We know they're not going to do it, but they should. I will say that the Drew Carey lookalike has done a tremendous job coaching the Pacers this year. What's Drew Carey doing these days? Is he still doing the Price is Right? Is the Price is Right still even a thing? I mean, I assume it is. But God, who knows at this point? Let's see. Let's get an update. 19 likes on this video, 16 people watching. We have only gained the one subscriber. This poll at 20 votes is one of the closest we've seen in a while. 35% voted so far say yes, the Sixers should still draft Ace Bailey. 30% say no, the Sixers should not draft Ace Bailey. And 35% say, can we just talk Eagles? All right, now we're up to 20 likes. Keep hitting those buttons, guys, please. Jim Carrey, yeah, that's kind of what I thought you meant. But then you made me think of Drew Carey. He was a presenter at the Tonys. I was like, I haven't seen that guy's face in a long time. Can you think of any other team in any sport that is as good management? No, I can't, Bruce. The Eagles have the greatest owner in American sports in Jeffrey Lurie. They have the greatest GM in American sports in Howie Roseman. They got Nick Sirianni, who is one of the greatest coaches in sports right now. They got the greatest quarterback leadership-wise that you could ever imagine. The best. I think he's still doing Price. He literally spent like hundreds of thousands to support the actor strike. Gotcha. Hell no, I don't. Yeah, I don't want Durant either. But I'm just in my mind, Dante. I'm like, all right, you trade Durant right now for his contract for Paul George. Paul George's got 3 years. Durant's got 1 year left, okay? And then you just retrade Durant later when he doesn't want to come here or at the trade deadline. And then you get all these picks back. I'm doing it. If I'm a big Price is Right guy, so I want Drew instead of Chip. Gotcha. Good morning, Jonathan Harvey. How you doing? Ace Bailey seems like a no, so my vote is no. And it seems like the right thing. And Jonathan, you're just getting in here. So what I've been saying, it's like if you draft him and he blows this team up because of his personality and whatnot, the story will be, well, Daryl Morey should have known better. You don't draft him and he becomes a stud, most likely the story will be, well, at least it wasn't Daryl Morey's fault because Daryl Morey was making a smart, educated decision on the information that was there, that he was immature, etc. The Price is wrong, bitch. Yeah, exactly. I really am hoping Drew Carey makes an appearance in Adam Sandler too. I'm really hoping so. I feel it would be good if ESPN had an awards show and they gave out awards to teams management for all sports. Well, I mean, they have the ESPYs, but I don't think they do much about like owners and GMs and stuff like that. Flyers aren't the worst. Not right now, no. Alto King, read about it, maybe. I don't have a notebook, so I can't take notes today. So after we finally get rid of Morey, who are we getting to replace him, and who do we bring in to change the culture of the Sixers organization with the caveat of Harris will be an absentee dad? I don't know the answer to this question, Doc. But because I don't have the answer, does not mean we should keep Morey and keep Nick Nurse around. This is a common question when I say I hate this guy or fire that guy or whatnot, is, well, you got to have an answer on who to replace them with. No, I don't. I could point out that I see that it's not working. I could point out that change is needed. But I don't have to have the answer. You said I was bringing heat on you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Good morning, mister. Ace Bailey said he wanted to promise the Sixers would draft him at 3. Now Maury wants to stop lying. Well, here's the thing. He's wanted promises from the 3 other teams, too. So what in the hell? So he wants everybody to promise. Does he not realize you can only get drafted by one team? He has demanded a promise from every team he's actually visited with. Change your AC filters, everyone. It's going to be hot as bleepity bleep next week. I just actually cleaned my filters Tuesday. So, yes, it's going to be pushing 100 next week, every day. Brutal. Heat is a mid-movie. That is a severely bad opinion on your part. Heat is a severely underratedly great movie. Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro, phenomenal movie. Heat and Blow, 2 severely underrated gangster, mob, drug movie. Oh, well, it's going to be really miserable in the pizza shop, too. It's going to be a brutal week next week. And it's not helping that this week, while the temperature's not hot, it's been humid as freakity freak this week, too. It's going to be a tough one. I'm going to be a grouchy mother on the morning show for a while because that heat's going to bring the grouchiness out in me. Karen, damn to you. Guys, please, we're coming up to the final 10 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up in about 10, 15 minutes probably. So let's get our final thoughts in on our poll. 20 votes in. Neck and neck. Yes, no. Or can we just talk Eagles? Should the Sixers draft Ace Bailey? Please like and share this video and subscribe. We gained 1 new subscriber. We got 20 likes on the video. This show grows. This channel grows. Only with your support, and your support is free. Clicking buttons is free. Subscribing to this channel is free. All you got to do is subscribe and like. What about value? You're getting less value today. Less value. This is when I'm happy to have a pool. Yeah, I mean, we want a pool. We're working on saving for a pool, Noom. We are. It's going to be quite the project, quite an expensive project, but we are working on it. Scotty's going to win 24 under. Ben Griffin's in 13th or 14th place to start the day. So I got a Scotty Scheffler, Ben Griffin parlay. So maybe that'll hit. I'd be very happy with that. So Ringo seems to be looking good in practices so far. Yes, he does. That's why they haven't brought anybody else in for cornerback. I mean, maybe they still bring in Asante Samuel Jr. at some point. But Ringo's going to be the guy until he's not. Pools are the boats of homeownership. No comment on that because I might agree on that too. I just want a hot tub. My wife wants the pool. So she wants our backyard oasis, as she calls it. So we're going to get it for her. I feel Scotty is great, but my favorite golfer is Rory. Okay, I mean, that's fair. I mean, Rory's a great golfer, Masters champion, future Hall of Famer. Rory's a little too much of a D-bag sometimes. Like, sometimes he's a great dude. Sometimes he's a D-bag. His personality can rub people the wrong way. I'm not a huge Scotty fan. Like, I respect Scotty's the best golfer in the world, hands down. I don't enjoy watching Scotty play golf because it's too boring. Scotty needs to have a greater personality. Scotty is so cliche. Scotty's a typical Texas boy. He cares about God, his family, and golf. And that's it. In that order, too. He doesn't do anything crazy. He's never in trouble. He's just like, yeah, go about my business. No personality there. Makes it very difficult to watch him and cheer him. But oh well, whatever. Again, I cannot recommend enough making sure you guys go watch the Eagles Unfiltered video that dropped yesterday. if you hadn't. It's about 8 minutes long. Because you get so much of the thought process on how Nick Sirianni is going to go about getting this team ready to do it again, to repeat as champions, or put us in the best position to repeat as champions. The tone he's setting right from day one. And, of course, as always, dropping those cliche, corny little phrases. Talking about winning Super Bowls like great perfume. You want to sniff it and smell it, but you don't want to drink it because it's poison. I think that's the way he phrased it. Again, no notebook. I've written it down. I don't got my notebook in front of me. Poison. Perfume is poisonous. You sniff it. You smell it. You enjoy the aroma of it, but you don't drink it because that's when bad things happen. Well, it's on Twitter. I know they dropped it on their Twitter page. I'm sure they dropped it on their other social media pages, and it might be on the Eagles official website too. But you could definitely catch it on any of their social media pages. I watch it on Twitter because that's where I get all my content from is Twitter because I'm a sucker for Twitter. My life would be so much different if I didn't have Twitter. Much more boring, too. Thank you. Only the second person to compliment me today, Barb, in an hour on it. Got the trim here. You can't tell. I mean, he took a decent amount off the beard. The beard is much cleaner today and trimmed up today. Got a college graduation party to go to on Saturday, so I got to look good for the family, you know? Going to the beach the following week. Got to look good for the beach, you know? I don't use Twitter anymore, but I would. Yeah, I'm sure if you go to Facebook, Instagram, Eagles, or just go to the Eagles website, I'm sure you'll find it. Is Trea Turner or Weston Wilson the last Philly hit for the cycle? Is Weston Wilson the last one? Did Turner do it? They both did it. I don't remember which order that happened in. I feel you look like CC Top now. Okay. Maybe. Your rabbi? I thought it said Robbie for a second. I'm like, who's Robbie? Your rabbi, really? Just trying to picture me with the rabbi hat on. Yeah, no. I don't know about that. But maybe. I don't know what your rabbi looks like. Your rabbi must be a damn good-looking man with a great personality. Yeah. Anyway, guys, like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Final minutes of the show today. What's next week going to bring? Yeah, every good Catholic boy needs a rabbi. Really? Is that what it is? I never said I was a good Catholic boy. I just said I was a Catholic boy. I was the MVP of the Altar Boys in 1993, okay? At Holy Cross. I got a plaque and everything, all right? The only MVP award I've ever won in life. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I was thinking that Phil isn't intimidating enough to rock a bald head. He's too nice and charming. I used to shave my head completely. I used to pick it every day when I was younger, in my early 20s. The problem with shaving your head is to make it look good, you got to do it every day, and that takes time. I don't like to waste time shaving my head every morning. So I just like to cut it really short, let it grow in. Which tattoo? This where do you see a rabbi tattoo? No, there's no rabbi tattoos on me. No. I think the Mets are bringing up a minor league pitcher to start one of these games. Tonight is that game, Barb. And very important the Phillies go out and win tonight. Very important. You got Zach Wheeler going. They're going basically a bullpen game. The guy pitched once this year in a spot start that the Mets are bringing up. He pitched like 3 innings and gave up like 9 runs. He's not a good pitcher. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Mets and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. So it's going to be 2-1 Phillies lose, right? It's probably the way it's going to be. But it's very important for the Phillies to set the tone for the series against the Mets by taking game 1 tonight. Next week will be brutal because no football news. We're going to have to talk Sixers. I got to work on next week's schedule. I got Sean Bernard on Wednesday. I got Dives coming on Thursday. We obviously got a lot of draft talk. Monday, we'll obviously be recapping this Mets series, good or bad. But I also got a lot of pizza stuff to do, and it's going to be hot. We might have to bounce around a little bit next week. We might have to see. Might have to rearrange some things. I'm sorry, but I can't find that video. Eagles Unfiltered. It's always they drop them all year long. I'm just going to Google it real quick. Oops. If I know how to spell, that would help. I just Google Eagles Unfiltered. Oh, it's on YouTube. Go to the Eagles YouTube page. It's listed there. I just Googled it. The first thing that pops up is Eagles Unfiltered YouTube. So they have it on their YouTube page. Okay. Rabbis can't have tattoos. No. Okay. Didn't know that. Cool. I'm your spiritual advisor. Cool. I will give you any advice you need. I'll probably go into the office most days next week to get the free AC. That's smart. That's smart. That's smart. Pizza shops can be hot as bleepity bleep. We take care of this basketball camp every summer. They do two weeks, June and August. But it's like a huge camp, like 400 kids, and it's at a high school, and they do some inside and some outside. I wonder what they're going to do with that camp. It's going to be so hot. They cancel that camp? It's a lot of pizza that I need to make. We're talking 100 party pizzas over the course of the week. The guy on ESPN called Lamar Jackson and Embiid like failure. It had me cracking up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Lamar Jackson stan, but let me tell you something. Lamar Jackson's way more successful than Joel Embiid ever was. Are you getting in ground or above ground? Oh, in ground. I've done the whole Intech pool before, the metal frame Intech pop-up pools before, and they're good. They do the job. My wife wants an Oasis back there. So we're going to get it for her. Not sure how or when, but we're going to. I might be out there digging the hole myself. Would you rather have great starting pitching or a weak bullpen, or would you have a great bullpen and average starting pitching? So, did you purposely use these words? Great starting pitching in the first comparison or part of it, and average starting pitching versus weak bullpen and a great bullpen. So you're giving me average starting pitching with a great bullpen, or a great starting pitching and a weak bullpen. Not an average bullpen, a weak bullpen. I'm probably taking the average starting pitching and a great rotation or a great bullpen. Yeah, pretty much. Never. Can't cheap out on anything the wife wants, ever, right? Got to always take care of the wife. Give her what she wants, right? We gained another one. We're up to 543. We're at 21 likes on this video, guys. Thank you. This has been a fun day. All right, we got to wrap this up, though. I do got to jetty out of here, okay? See one with Nick called Eagles Unscripted. Maybe. I'm not sure. Bruce. Comment on the show after the show ends, because I get notifications for post-show, and then I'll try to. I don't know if that'll work or not. I'll try to send you a link through that. I'm just not even sure how I'll do that, but I'll try to find it and send. You just got to find a way to get in contact with me so I can find it and send you the link. Tuck, there's a lot of women hosts on ESPN now. I think I could do better than them. Well, we would find out. Like I said, pools are like boats for homes. It costs a lot to build and maintain. It does not add anything. It doesn't. But if you're not planning on moving, this week would be a great week to have on. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, thank you. Guys, everybody, I got to wrap this up. We're cutting it 20 minutes short today. That's okay. Next week, we'll have a fun-filled week talking draft, Phillies, Mets, Eagles, who knows what else. Mine's always, I keep her completely satisfied all the time, mister, okay? Just so you know. Anyway, we got to wrap this up. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay cool. Get prepared for a hot one next week. Check those air conditions. Make sure your house is ready to go. Check on your elders. Make sure people got fans. Guys, we're going to have a great weekend. You guys have a great weekend. Next week, we'll be back with more great content. Please, all weekend long. We're up to 543 subscribers. Can we be at 550 by Monday morning? That would require you guys going out and finding me all one subscriber this weekend. Let's go. Let's go from 543 to 550 by the end of the weekend. Let's do it. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. I am Phil Stiefel. This is Training the AM on the STT Sports Network, guys. Go Birds. Bubbles up.